So we're going to do Lesson Master 5.2, which is all about the inverse cosine. And we're going to do numbers 1 through 10. Right. And these first three were asked to evaluate without a calculator and give an exact answer in radians. All right. So I'm going to be looking at inverse cosine. So in other words, where is the cosine? That's the first part of the question. So where is the cosine 1/2? So I go to my unit circle, but because I'm doing inverses, I only want to look at the top half of the unit circle. That's the only part I'm looking at, is from 0 to pi. Where is the cosine? That's the x-coordinate 1/2, right there at pi over 3. So I write pi over 3. Number 2, arc cosine, which is the same as inverse cosine. Where is the cosine? -1. So again, I'm only looking at the top half of the circle because I'm in inverses. I need my x-coordinate to be -1, and it happens right there at pi. Next question, where is the cosine square root of 2 over 2? Again, I'm only looking at the top half of the circle. I want the x-coordinate to be square root of 2 over 2, right there at pi over 4. Four through 6 ask us to approximate to the nearest hundredth of a degree, which means use your calculator. And since it says degrees, I need to make sure that my calculator is in degrees, and it is. Then I do inverse cosine of -0.83, and I get 146.10. Next, for number 5, inverse cosine of 1/8. Inverse cosine 1/8, and I get 82.82. Arc cosine, which is the same as inverse cosine of 0.888. Put that into my calculator. Inverse cosine 0.888, and I get 23.38 degrees. Next, in 7 and 8, it says find theta where theta is between 0 and pi, which means I'm only in this top part of the unit circle in quadrants 1 and 2, and it's the nearest hundredth. That means use a calculator of a radian. So this means use a calculator, and this means I need to put my calculator, I'm sorry, I keep sniffling, in radians. All right, cosine of theta is 0.25. So since I'm solving for theta, I'm going to take the inverse cosine of each side, and I get that theta equals, let's see, inverse cosine 0.25, 1.32. For this next one, I need to first divide by 4, and I get cosine of theta equals 0.25 divided by 4, 0.0625. I'm going to take the inverse of each side, second cosine, 0.0625, and I get 1.51. So 9 and 10, an equation for a function is given. State its domain, state its range. So we're doing the domain and the range. Right? So here I have inverse cosine. What's the domain? What's the range? I'm going to look back at this first page of notes where here's my inverse cosine. The domain goes from -1 to 1, as written here. And my range goes from 0 to pi. Notice it never goes below and it never goes above. It ended actually right here and here. So my domain is -1 to 1. And my range, remember, is from 0 to pi. Didn't mean to write that there. That's why we're always looking at just the top half of the unit circle for my y values from 0 to pi. Now, for number 10, look, this is almost the exact same thing, but we're making a change multiplying by 5. Now, where that 5 is, that would be a scale change where the x or the t, nothing's getting multiplied here, but the y is getting multiplied by 5. So the domain is not going to change, but the range is going to get 5 times larger. So if I multiply 0 times 5, I still get 0. And if I multiply pi by 5, I get 5 pi.